Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Pro and Expert Division with Various Wind. Here I'm playing all the holes from the second tee, giving you my best advice on how to crush the specific course that we are playing. But before we have a closer look at all the content, if you enjoy the free content here on the channel, hit the thumbs up on the video, subscribe to the channel and click that bell button or the notification button. For those of you that are looking to take that little extra step, you shall look for our premium guides on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. You do have the link in the description down below, or you can scan the QR code. There we do have packages that ranges for all the different type of players in Golf Clash, all from tournaments to tour play to checkpoint challenge. You can find something regardless what game mode you want to improve on. You sign up, you try for yourself, and you see how we can help you become a better player in Golf Clash. Last but not least, in this playthrough, you can follow along by following the info box on the right hand side. Club distance adjustment, elevation adjustment, also what ball and club type I suggest you to play with. Have in mind, those are just suggestions, so you don't have to follow it if you don't want to, but there's a plan behind it. Let's go to hole number 1. So for hole number 1, this is a par 3 where an hole in one is very makeable, but you can see the green slopes a little bit left to right, right to left, in whatever way you wanna talk about it. I like to go for a rough pump here. That has become a new favorite approach of mine. The only thing that I make as a mistake here is that I'm leaving the ball guideline at the hole instead of leaving it short, because I do have a tailwind and we will be getting an extended ball guideline. You obviously don't have to go for a rough bump if you don't want to. You can play a standard backspin shot with a long iron, and you can also do a bounce up shot with a long iron as well. But the beauty thing with the rough bump is that you will always have a ball guideline towards the hole or around the hole, which has always been the difficult part with this par 3. So even if I'm not dropping this one in the video, I feel that this is definitely a route I wanted to highlight, because I believe this will, if getting obviously everything with your adjustment dialed in, this is going to be your best chance for an hole-in-one, and that's what we're looking for, talking about the shots here in this playthrough. Playing with a Grizzly because it has a good accuracy and a good ball guideline, medium distance plus 15, and you don't have to play with a Kingmaker, but obviously reducing the wind a lot is very helpful. Hole number 2, the dry. Bullseye by the rough line at the top of +1 with extra mile level 9. Obviously a higher plus yardage with the lower level extra mile. So for an example, extra mile level 8 +2, extra mile level 6 and 7 is going to be +5. Now, once we have done this setup like that, 4.5 bar topspin, 2 left spin also, we're gonna adjust max +10 P5. And we are going to then go full curl to the left, even though extra mile level 6 has slightly less curl, and also, I mean, it's extra mile 7 and 8 has increments less curl than what extra mile 9 is. We are always going to go max curl. Slow needle, max OP, and this is also the reason why I decide to play with a power 5 ball here. You don't have to play with a berserker, you can play with any power 5 ball here. It's not, so you have that in mind. Ball rolls down nicely. We're looking to be somewhere between 365 and 375 yards. So on the second shot I decide to play with sniper, and even though I do have sniper level 10, you can play this one with sniper level 7 or better, because you will still be in plus yardage, especially if you are using a power 5 ball. So what I'm looking for here now is to use the plus yardage that I'm in, and I'm gonna use always one right spin, and we're going to use 0.7 bars of backspin. Ball guideline to be just right of the pin like that, slightly through the hole, and we are going to from here make an adjustment from +1 is going to be 100% slider with no elevation P5 numbers, and we are, when it comes to the other sniper levels, we are always going to use sniper 10 numbers in the app. Center the ball, hit perfect, and this will give you a chance, even though this is not a gimme whatsoever. This is one of the tougher and most boring par 5s that I do think we have in the game. Comes in and drops left side, but I'll take it for an eagle. Hole number 3. This is the definition of boring. This is not going to be a par 5 where we're going to see many albatrosses. The only way to see an albatross here would be if we do have a tailwind and we can, together with the new topspin boost balls, bounce into the rough and roll out on the other fairway. But if there is just a minor tailwind or a crosswind or any headwind, then we cannot reach over there. It doesn't matter what club you have and doesn't matter what ball you have. So then we're going to have to lay up, and if we have to lay up, we can't reach for the green in 2. So when having to lay up, I'm laying up with the rock or the quarterback, depends on what wind it is, but when it is a slight headwind, I'm laying up with the rock to give myself that extra power. Second shot is then going to be a cataclysm. Here you can lay up short, but it is recommended, if you have the power enough on your club, to try to get yourself to be before the bunker in the middle. And what I mean with getting before the bunker there in the middle is that we are then going to look to play a rough bump for the third shot. Yeah, we're not trying to push super hard to get up on the right, which was the way we used to do before. I'm not saying that's wrong, I'm just saying that this is a little bit easier, as we do give ourselves much more room for error. Now we're going to change in the info box here, and we're going to make a change that is like that. We're going to play minus 20, and we are going to change max to become mid. We're changing that to that, and then we're going to change club, and the club then is going to be Grizzly. So what I'm looking for here now on the third shot is that we're going to play a rough bump, as I've already said. And the rough bump is going to be a rough bump that is on the left side. And the reason we're playing on the left side, and you can see I'm using the B52, I will explain why I have the Grizzly there, is because there is a big funnel here rolling down towards the pin. However though, we need to have in mind that when it comes to this type of shot here, we are gaining a lot of speed while rolling up the hill. And with a new putter, it is very important that you are accurate. And the reason I suggest this type of shot now is because that funnel is massive. And if you're catching that, it's going to be a super simple way of locking in the eagle. However, if you're making mistakes and you're not accurate enough, then you might miss, and then the putt might not be as you would like. So that's something to definitely have in mind when playing this type of shot. You can see it rolls up there, turns around, and it rolls down towards the pin and rolls in the hole for a lovely eagle. Minus 20% elevation, and then it all depends on what type of club distance. It's normally very close to minimum distance if laying up to where it is there. But it is very important to try to find yourself with a check, so you don't go in blind on the third shot, because that's the difficult part, because we don't really have any references to play with. Hole number 4, and here you will see a rough bump as well. I like the rough bump here in headwind due to as it's very easy to find minimum distance line with a P5 ball, and that will obviously be super helpful when we're going for a rough bump. So what I'm doing here is that I'm setting a spin that is top spin, and I'm not looking at the ball guideline at all. I'm just looking at the yellow range position to be by the rough line in complete minimum distance with a power 5 ball, and that's why you saw me starting with a berserker. After that, I do change to a centurion. I do like to play with either a wind 3 or a wind 4, but you can switch to literally whatever ball you would like, because the only thing that it's going to happen is that you're going to adjust yourself away from min club. Minimum distance plus 10, but obviously the adjustment it in itself will be different depending on if you play this rough bump in angle tailwinds, crosswind, tailwind, and stuff like that. If you're not interested to go for the rough bump, which I believe is the best way to go for a hole-in-one consistently, at least in headwind, but then you can bounce on the fairway further back down, and that's not a bad route, but it's, in my opinion, more angle dependent. And I also think that especially now with the new putting and going for a bounce up shot like that where you risk not going all the way up, you know, that might not be the best way to go. Take your game to the next level with our ultimate tournament text guides for the Heading Home tournament, a full 9 of the City Park, and we are going to dabble into this one, creating the best possible shots we can for you to follow. You can find a massive amount of information for free on golfclashtommy.com, but the premium guides can be found by scanning the QR code on the screen or go directly to patreon.com/golfclashtommy via the link in the description down below. There you can find all our premium guides, tour play, tournament play. You sign up and get access immediately, and you will see for yourself how you improve your game. Hole number 5. This is one of the easier holes of the City Park. Sure, it's bumpy, but when we are getting the drive correct over to a short iron, we're getting ourselves in a very nice spot to attack the pin. Very, very easy for an eagle, in my opinion. Here in tailwind, it's perfect. We don't have to use any better ball than a power 3 ball. We start at max, using some top spin and also some right spin, because we do want to be close to the rough line on the left, but obviously not going into it. Maximum distance plus 10, and I'm using the driver that gives me the most power. Perfect ball it is, and you will see me bounce on the fairway over the rough and the bunker and be very close to the rough line, maybe a little bit too close to comfort, but now we are close to pin and we do have a short iron to attack. Short iron here, it's all about finding a reference. We are playing a non-linear hole, which means if playing based on drive yardage is not smart, in my opinion. So having to find a pin check, fringe check, or a rings from min or something like that is definitely something that is very recommended. There is a little sticky spot up there where catching that spot will give you some room for error. But as you can see here now that I'm not really doing a rings from min, I don't have a check, which means that I'm going to have to make an educated guess on what type of club distance or what type of percentage of my club I'm playing in. And that's never something that is recommended, especially not in tournaments. Because in tournaments it's all about consistency, and then we do need those checks to be consistently dropping these type of shots, because this is, unfortunately, regardless what you think, this is going to be a par 4 where you're going to have to get an eagle if you're going to have any chance for a top spot. Hole number 6 is a pretty boring par 5, to be honest. Sure, there is a way of dropping this one, but it's going to be very difficult, especially if we're having this type of wind. What we're looking for here now is that we're looking to bounce on the left side there, using as much, not as much topspin that we can. The topspin is going to vary all from 6 to max depending on what wind angle you have. If it's a direct headwind, it's going to be max. If it is a crosswind, slightly less, and obviously if it's a tailwind, a bit less than that. For those that do want to go for power shots such as a power slice, then you can do so if you do have a tailwind, and there is a chance of being close to green or on the green or something like that, and that could obviously take away a lot of difficultness along the way to get an albatross. Because I believe if we can send it, the send it is definitely the way to go, because it will allow us to, not really, I mean, this is a tough one. You can see here now we're close to max club with our Cataclysm, and we are trying, or we are at max club, has to be said, with a power 4 ball as well, which is, this is going to be a very difficult one. And here, the reason I want to show this type of video is that with the new putter that we're having here now, getting a putt like this that we're having here is not going to be easy. So in that way, it could almost be better that we lay up before the bunker and have a wedge towards the pin than just going for a Hail Mary going up towards the green. Obviously, if we have an attack towards the pin, then fine. But now I even had to offset, and it was basically just playing to green to get the eagle. But now we need to think a step further, because getting up there for that putt, that's not going to be easy at all. Very difficult par 5 to get an albatross on. Let's hope for tailwind, otherwise this is going to be fairly boring.
if the opportunity presents itself with a tailwind here, we're gonna send it, because this is not an easy par 4 if we cannot send it, because then we're gonna have to lay up and we're gonna have to deal with a lot of glitches that is around the green. So here I'm aiming for the left side of the fairway, meaning left side of the centered bunker and those rocks there, using top spin and using right spin. I just push up, and here I'm pushing up to max. There will be times, obviously, if you do have a higher wind, that you don't have to push up to max, which then makes for a much easier needle to handle. Max plus 10 is the adjustment, and you can see here now we're rolling through the rocks there on the right and on the left and getting ourselves to a wedge on the second shot. And honestly, the second shot cannot really be much easier than this, where we do have a straight tailwind. We're also then having wedge, which is the easiest club to hit perfect with. Here you can either go for a standard EB school by using no spin, or you can use a hybrid version of it like I'm doing here, or you can use max top spin and back up a little bit more. The important part, and the reason why I'm actually playing like a hybrid version, is due to the fact that there is a lot of glitches on that green, and I just want to ensure that I'm not going to find myself in a glitchy spot and have a dead bounce and then not going to have a shot for the pin. 20% elevation EB school, and you see we bounce on the green and rolling up towards the pin, getting it to drop on the right hand side for a lovely eagle here on hole number 7. So tailwind, send it, crosswind, headwind, we need to lay up, and then it's going to be a sniper towards the pin, or a guardian for that matter with a lot of backspin, but that's going to be a difficult one to drop.
Alright, hole 8. Here I will explain why I'm going for a rough bump in the end, because it might not be the route you were thinking I was going to play. Start with any power 4 ball with Grizzly in your bag to find min line with your sniper. Top of the red ring to be by the edge of the rough line. 2.5 top spin, 3 left spin, so we're playing with a katana. So once I've found my spot with a power 4 ball, I'm switching to a katana. Favor 1159 with your pull angle, and this is going to be the angle is going to call for 2 clicks of overpower. So this is one of the angles. We're going to have one angle where we're just going to center the ball. It all depends on how much headwind you're having of tee. So adding the 2 clicks of overpower, you can see I'm just barely touching the arrows at the bottom. Adjustment is 1:1 plus 0.5, and it hits the rough. We go into the funnel and we roll slowly, and we're getting right at pin with a nice speed. So why do I go for a rough bump, and why don't I go for a max backspin shot with the Guardian? The reason I don't go with a max backspin shot with the Guardian is because on this green it's very easy to come with such a speed back from that slope that you will roll to have a difficult putt. The rough bump plays into a funnel first and foremost, which gives us a very good chance for a drop. But second of all, it always has speed that even if we would miss, we would have a super short putt for the birdie. And especially now with the new putter stuff, then that's very helpful.
Hole number 9 has always been, it's not a weird par 5, but it's a tough par 5 in the sense of that we need to get the ball over to the right if even have a good and a decent chance to get a drop from distance. So what I'm doing here, I'm using a power 4 ball in headwind, and the reason I'm doing so is because I do want to minimize the amount of overpower that I'm using. If you have a crosswind, a minor headwind, or just a tailwind, then we can play with power 3 ball instead, which, I mean, it's just enough. We roll down like this, and that's what we're looking for, trying to get consistently to around 340 to 350 yards. On the second shot, we're using our sniper, this for its accuracy and also for its good ball guideline. Using backspin, and in headwind we need to let the ball guideline go through the hole. The adjustment here will differ depending on what wind angle we have. Obviously with a headwind we have a compressed ball guideline, therefore we usually need more adjustment than what's listed, and also the reason why I'm missing on the left side. Using a little bit of overpower to compensate, I would personally rather compensate with less spins. But in the end, this is a way to attack. You can go for a rough bump close to green as well, kind of require a power 5 ball, but the bounce over with the sniper has usually been very consistent overall. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough for Pro and Expert Division. Here you have seen me playing all the holes in the tournament with various wins, giving you my best advice on how to crush the tournament. If you're looking for more content, you can find more free content here on YouTube, but also on our website goldclashtommy.com. But for those of you that are looking to take that little extra step, look for our premium guides. You can find that on patreon.com/goldclashtommy. You have the link in the description down below, or you scan the QR code here on the screen to go directly there. We do have packages that ranges all from $4 up to, you know, whatever level you want to, and we do have premium guides for all the game modes. So do yourself a favor, sign up, try for yourself, and see how we can help you improve and have more fun with this game. You don't have to be a top tier player to sign up, because we do have packages for all the players that are playing this game. So check it out and see for yourself. Thank you very much once again for watching this playthrough. I wish you the best of luck in your Golf Clash game.